Can you do a bitches watch the movie before watching this? Maybe,
Yeah, we probably
maybe
probably should have
not.
done
I
a
don't
spoiler
know.
alert. I can put up a card at the beginning that says they talk about this later, but spoiler alert. Um,
Hey,
it's
the
it's
the
it's
the thing, the video about the movie talks about the movie, so you may want to watch it before you watch the thing.
when you're ready, dude.
Oh, I'm doing the intro. All right.
Oh, well, I don't remember who did the intro last time.
Well, because our orders are all off. I don't actually know anymore.
It doesn't matter. I
It
can do
doesn't
the
matter.
intro.
It doesn't matter. Welcome to Road to Waifu, the series where we try to figure out how we got to all of our favorite waifus. I'm Eric, and that's probably Morgan.
Probably, but we're not
You could be a
sure.
skinwalker.
We could be in the Matrix.
Statistically likely. Anyway, today we are talking about the Chainsaw Man movie because we're actually on top of things for once, and we're doing things last second and not like 3 months later.
We're topical, guys.
This is the only time we're ever going to do this, probably. So, I saw it on Saturday. If I remember right, you said you saw it on Friday?
I saw it on Friday, which is technically when it released, and I guess now is when I'm gonna get into my rant about how it's really, 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 really dumb that the release date is not the release date. Where I live, the movie came out technically on Thursday.
So, really. So, 14 reallys worth of reallys.
It's so
Annoying.
dumb. Dude, I've had this issue for a very long
Quick
time,
question: was it actually
and
14 reallys? Because I just kind of threw out that number, and I'm gonna be very impressed if that happened to be right.
somebody go back and count it. We'll put up a counter. But yeah, it's at least we don't have Wednesday releases anymore. So I guess we can all rejoice in that. But my personal opinion, if it drops on Friday, then it should drop on Friday. And this whole like pre-release or special screening crap needs to stop. Just like the 20 minutes of movie trailers and advertisements before your movie actually starts also has to stop.
Wait, are yours 20 minutes? Because mine is 30 minutes for AMC.
So, so I went to. I think on my ticket it said that the movie was supposed to start at 6:10, and it didn't start until 6:30 or 6:35. So yeah, like 20-25 minutes.
So I didn't get a chance to watch this in Dolby because the Dolby was just sold out. I didn't get my schedule cleared up
Same. I
in
saw. I
time.
saw standard.
It was in laser. I will say, in terms of things that really fuck with me, when you get the Dolby ad where it's like, "Hey, this is Dolby. This is gonna be an amazing experience." The thing that pissed me
Oh
off the
yes.
most recently was getting an Avatar trailer after that one. Because usually when that one shows up, I think
Mm.
I'm safe, and then Avatar showed up, and I was like, just infuriated. I will say though, if you're at AMC, I hate that they swapped the Nicole Kidman ad to the short version because I want to see the Queen in
Oh,
her glorious full.
I don't even know what ad you're talking about.
It is the greatest pre-movie ad of all time.
I will. I'll have to look it up because
I'm,
I
I'm, I'm
haven't seen
sending it
it.
to you later because it is great.
I did see. I did
Truthfully,
see the.
truthfully, it gets played every single movie, so it very quickly got memed, and
Interesting.
that's what we're working with. But it genuinely is like it's Nicole Kidman. It's fine. You can play
That's
that
so
for
interesting.
eternity.
I wonder why. I wonder why my theater didn't play that one because I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about. I did
Wait,
see.
are you watching at AMC or
Oh, is it specifically
it's
AMC? I went to a
specifically
Cinemark.
yeah, it's specifically AMC. So
Gotcha.
if you live in Diba AMC, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, like I've been to an AMC. It's just that I'm where I am right now. I'm closer to a Cinemark, so I'm not like specific
Loser,
theater.
loser.
I just
You're
go
not
to
graced by the queen.
whatever. I did see the Avatar ad though, and when we were watching it, both me and my brother apparently had the same thought. So I went to go see it with my brother, and I looked at him afterwards, and we were both like, "Oh, we thought that was just another trailer for Way of Water. Like we just thought that they were like re-releasing it, but apparently it's a new movie in the Avatar series of films." So I look at my brother and I'm just like, so James Cameron's getting in on film universes,
Yeah, and for
cinematic
what?
universes.
So I watched the second one, The Way of Water on a plane. I didn't finish it because it was time to land. I didn't have any desire to go back. It was just so meh.
I just think it's wild. Like all of the very popular directors nowadays are all like heading up a cinematic universe, quote unquote. And I'm just like, what happened to just like making good movies? Like what?
Well, also, can we talk about how long movies are now? I was so happy to see Chainsaw Man was just an hour 40.
I know. It was like it was the right length. It was and because it was the quote unquote right length, and we could get into a whole diatribe about what Morgan thinks is the right length for a movie, but because it was a shorter movie, it didn't have like any slow moments. I do think that the movie struggled a little bit with the narrative, but overall, solid. Super
Truthfully,
solid.
I ended up rereading the manga chapters this morning. That's really how the manga goes. Like, it's because it. I think a part of it is that it's a ongoing narrative between the anime and then the next season, whenever that may be, or the next movie. Because it turns out Chainsaw Man works very well as a movie format.
No, it was really really solid. My only real complaint about the movie, and this is where I guess we'll dive into
Wait,
our Chainsaw Man review.
one more side addendum before we go actually on topic.
Eric,
So,
Eric, they are here
spe-
for a
so
Chainsaw Man review.
yes, but I will take every chance I can. So, because we're complaining about it, do you happen to know what movie kicked off this trend of long movies?
Oh, probably if I had to guess, probably what's that? Uh it's the fudge. It was on it's black and white. It used to be it's on like when it came out, it was like on two VHS cassettes. Um fudge. Oh, I can't it's like the wind something. God, it's like an American classic now. It's a 4-hour film. Why can't I think of the title?
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. That's it.
That movie is obscenely long. I've never actually
It's
watched it.
it's 4 hours.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to watch it. It's 4 hours.
I have I have seen it. I have seen it. And
If I
it's
have 4 hours of my life, am I gonna watch Gone with the Wind or Return of the King?
so here's the thing. Gone with the Wind, I don't think actually sets off a trend. Like I mean like to be fair, you asked me what I thought set off the trend and then I gave you literally like the first movie that was that long.
I
I think that those things are different cuz
They are.
Gone with the
They are.
Wind
They are.
comes
They are. So
you know, Gone
I
with the Wind
think
comes out in like the 50s,
yes.
I think, or possibly even earlier.
I think the movie that kicked off this trend of long movies is Titanic.
Yes. Yes.
Because
That's
that
what I
thing
was going to
is
say.
3 hours.
Titanic. Three and a half. Three and a
Three and
half.
a half. You're right. You're right. Three and a half.
Yeah.
And it's like, guys, I could be watching Return of the King.
Here's the thing. This is like the funny thing about Titanic. I think that Titanic was somewhat brilliantly done because the first half of Titanic I feel like is very targeted at a female audience because it has that sort of romance theme to it. And then the second half of the movie, I feel like, is very oriented towards a male audience. And the reason that I feel like this is because anytime I watch that movie, I want to skip to when the boat hits the iceberg. And if I'm watching it with a female, we have to watch the whole thing because they want to see the beginning of the movie.
I mean, there's romantic subplot throughout it. It's just most. It's like expecting action when you watch Pride and Prejudice. It's mostly about the drama.
Yes,
So
but I
that's why
think
you
like
watch
if
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, which is the superior version of that story.
That's gonna upset. It's a good thing that we probably have a male audience because that's gonna
Statistically
upset a lot of
speaking.
people, statistically speaking. But anyway, we have digressed quite enough, I feel.
I
Let's dive
disagree.
in. Okay, well, let's dive into our Chainsaw Man review. So, initial thoughts.
Honestly, great. Like, soundtrack was fantastic. The action sequences were drawn well. The biggest improvement from the anime is that the Mappa employees were finally able to animate Denji properly. Because in season one, my biggest gripe was that most of it was animated, and then Denji's there in CG, and it's jarring. Like, it's not bad CG like Berserk CG, but when only he's CG, it just feels off.
You know
Like,
what's interesting?
some of the best
Um,
fights, the best fight the first season was Kobeni and Aki. Like, those are the best sequences. Or when Denji's not even full chainsaw.
Yeah. I had an interesting thought during some of the later fights in the movie about do you remember in Naruto when the pain fight came out and the animation like couldn't quite keep up with the frame rate of the fight.
Yes.
So there was this like sort of weird
I
stretched
love
aesthetic.
I love that aesthetic though. It looks so good.
So my question is now that we are in 2025, I wonder if that was an intentional choice or if there was still some either tech restriction or budget restriction that made them have to do it that way. Because remember the whole thing with the pain fight was the tech literally could not
Right.
handle the load for that movie or for that sequence.
I think a part of it is genuinely that Chainsaw Man, the general universe is exaggerated. Like, all of our characters are just insane. Literally and figuratively, they are just mentally insane. So the action should also be more exaggerated.
I agree with that. So is your opinion that the style matches the action?
Yes, because when you when you have like how insane these characters are, you should have the action. You can't have something that's just like two dudes in a corner just like throwing a punch every few frames. It can't be like Record of Ragnarok where it's a PowerPoint slide basically.
So your opinion is that it was probably an intentional choice, or your feeling is that it is an intentional choice.
I think so because it's like it's so stylized,
Yeah.
which works very
Um,
well for the series.
I definitely think that if it were intentional, then it's certainly a cool stylized choice, or a cool style to do the fight in. But my thing is, if it really was a choice, because this is, the like comic book aesthetic, so like the
Yeah.
old school comic books from Marvel and DC, the reason that it has that kind of checkered pattern is not a choice. It's a result of the printing technology at the time. And we love that aesthetic because it became a signature of comic books. So now when we do it, it's a choice in order to replicate that style. So I wonder with the Chainsaw Man movie if it's something like that where it's replicating that comic book style, making it look like these sort of low budget anime fights to evoke that feeling, or if there are still technical restrictions that make it look like that. That's my quandary.
Mm.
So I'm not even really looking at it as a this was 100% a choice and it fits the style. I'm more like, is this a happy accident
I
or
think it's
did you actually
I
choose it?
think it's intentional. Like, if you think about the opening when Denji has that dream again with Pochita, it literally pulled from the manga in terms of style. So I think the animators are very intent on how they're portraying it. Because for me, reading, having read it first and then rereading it after I watched the movie, it really feels like they pulled the scenes straight from the manga, essentially.
I didn't read the manga, so I don't have an opinion about that.
Mm.
But I do think
Dead
that the
end,
style
dead
works.
end, conversation, dead end.
But I do think that the style works. So regardless of whether or not it was an intentional choice, I do think that it worked. I enjoyed it, and when it happened, so when I was sitting in the theater, and I was like tapping my brother, and I was like, the style.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great. And, as always, Denji is just unhinged as the main character.
I mean, like that's like his whole thing, right? I did
Mm.
like so I didn't actually, like I said, I don't read the manga, so I wasn't caught up. I didn't know what was going to happen going into it. My brother did, and this seems to be like everybody's favorite arc. That seems to be the consensus, is that the Reze arc is very popular.
It's
Um
it's a solid arc that's self-contained where I think this is one of those instances of Chainsaw Man where you can really just hop into it. You can introduce. It's probably a better introduction if you're trying to get someone into the series, being like, "Hey, you want to watch this anime movie? It's only an hour 40, and then if they like it, then they can go back and watch the series and like." Because I found that introducing people to anime, sometimes the first episode is not the best option.
yeah, I mean like
If you're
it's
trying to
one of
introduce
those.
someone to something completely brand new, it the first episode sometimes isn't the best option.
Yeah. Um I mean, like, I think there are better options for how to introduce somebody to anime, because the thing with the
No,
Chainsaw
not
Man
not
movie
anime in
is,
general, but this specific one.
um, I don't, so maybe this is a me thing, but you have to have certain information going into the movie that you won't have unless you watch the series or read the manga beforehand,
Yes, but
because
if you
it would be
but
like
if but
watching the
like
third Lord of the
say,
Rings movie.
but
Just
say but say this person has zero interest in starting in in this series until now where you're introducing them to it. Why not start at a high so that they can, and then if they're interested, they can watch the rest of the series. That's how I've introduced a few animes to people before, where I
okay.
focus in
You
on like a
actually
good point, good area.
you actually bring up an interesting point that I think that you're not probably even conscious that you're bringing this up, because this is a sort of film studies type of thing that I sit and analyze, and that's in a lot of movies nowadays. There's there's I mean, the technical term is using a hook, right? And you see this in social media videos because everybody has such short attention spans, and you have to use this formula in order to grab people's attention. So the technical term is using a hook. And you see this in a lot of films now where they'll start with action, like some guy's house getting broken in, or some guy getting stabbed, or like some traumatic event, like somebody's sister getting abducted and being and driving getting driven away. Like there's some like visceral moment at the beginning of a film that's usually the first 5 to 7 minutes of a film, and then it hard cuts to either like we're now like a week before, or a few months before, or possibly even years before, or just hard cuts to, and now we're in this other place. Maybe it's a flash forward or like whatever. And I personally think that this is a lazy storytelling mechanism, because I think that you do have to grab people's attention, but I think that to always default to this, here's the thing, that is not relevant to the beginning of the story, but we can't start with the beginning of the story because the beginning of the story is not interesting. Like, I just don't like that mechanism, and that's essentially what you're saying that
Yes.
people should do, is
It's
they should
not
start in the middle of the
look,
story
it's
and then
not
go back to the beginning of the
it's not an
series.
ideal system, but it can get people interested in a series. Like, for example, let's use an older anime example. If you wanted to get someone interested in, say, Sword Art Online, the first episode is a good place to start. But if they're new to the series entirely and they want to see like where the hook is, you could start with the Gleam Eyes fight where he gets his two swords because it's a good action sequence to
Yeah,
hook people in.
I just don't like that as a mechanism because if your story isn't interesting at the get-go, then
This method is assuming that modern well, I have this problem too. Modern day people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. So this is
sure,
like
I acknowledge
a
that.
hey, this is what you're looking forward to. This if you like this, then you should get into this series. If you don't like this, then this series is going to be a waste of your time. Like
Here's the
for
thing.
My Hero,
Here's
for
the thing.
example, if you can't get into the Deku versus Todoroki fight, then you should leave because that is like one of the highs of the first season.
I don't.
And My Hero is
Here's the
great,
thing.
but it has one of the slowest intros. My
Here's
brother
the thing.
almost
Here's the thing.
dropped it because of that slow intro.
Okay, this is gonna be, I think, a controversial take, but I think to some degree it depends on why you're watching, because I think that nowadays, and to some degree, this is because of the introduction of action movies. So really, before like the 70s, I would I would wager there isn't like an action movie genre. The action movie genre sort of starts to arise in the 70s and gains a lot of traction in the 80s. And action movies, it literally strips away like the human connection in a movie. And I think that this impacts how people interact with their media, because essentially what you're saying is if like the fight sequence isn't interesting to you or the visceral moments aren't interesting to you, then you're probably not going to enjoy it. And I actually think that anime specifically is so good because of its humanity, because of its storytelling ability, and for you to connect with characters like Denji. Denji is such an interesting
He's
character
such a loser.
because,
He's such a loser.
but who can't relate to him? Like, what guy do you know? Who amongst your male friends has not sat with the very real, like, I can't get a girlfriend. I have never had like physical intimacy with someone, and that be like your whole goal, your motivation in life. Like,
I
Denji is
think
such a relatable person.
that is a result of us growing up in the early 2000s. And let's admit it, the early 2000s movies were all sex based. It's like that was
I
always
think
the
it's
end
a I think it's a pretty universal
for the
experience.
specifically for media from the early 2000s because it's like
I disagree.
you get
Look at
series
I disagree. Look at Back to the Future. Back to the Future is
that
all
that's not an
about
early 2000s movie.
that's my point.
I'm specifically referring to movies that came out in the early 2000s. TV shows where it's just obsessing over sleeping with people.
I'm not sure I understand what your point
I think this
is.
is a full-on episode, probably.
What
But
I
the general idea is that that's a sort. But regardless of where this conversation's going, I agree with you to a certain regard where we've all been in Denji's shoes growing up at some point or another. I wonder if it's necessarily a result of media that we consumed in the early 2000s. specifically
Yeah,
though.
see, no, this is specifically my point. I disagree with you. I don't think it has anything to do with any specific media that we grew up with. I think that Denji's experience is a universal experience that is global and spans generation. Like you can talk to your
This feels so Hobbs and Locke right now.
I mean, like I don't I but this is my original point was that I don't think that you need like the 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 fights that happen in Chainsaw Man to be interested in Chainsaw Man.
No,
Chainsaw
so
Man is interesting
Chainsaw
because
Man
of Denji.
Chainsaw Man is a very interesting series, not because of the actual fights, but the actual character progression. However, when you tell someone that at least a general audience, perhaps, like take some random person on the street, just not necessarily an anime fan or anything, but it could, but like just a general person on the street, you may not be able to hook someone off of that.
Off of the premise of Chainsaw Man.
Yes. Chainsaw Man is a
I
fantastic series because of how it explores
sure.
Denji as a character. I'm using that as a general, hey, rando off the street, watch this series. This shit kind of good.
Right. I I don't know. I think I disagree with you because I think that episode 1 I mean like episode 1 of Chainsaw Man is a pretty
That
it's
is
a
actually
pretty
a
I
really
mean
good
like
episode.
Denji dies.
That's
Denji is killed in episode 1.
yeah.
Like I
It is very much an Alfred Hitchcock cycle where you have a main character and then he just suddenly dies.
Yeah, like and we could actually get into a whole debate about how that is actually still kind of a hook. I mean, it's at the end of episode 1, but you're essentially trying to hook somebody for the rest of the series.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, it would be a hook that's done well because it's not like you started the first episode, the first 5 minutes with Denji dies and then flash back to, oh, how did he die? It just starts with this guy who's sort of down on his luck, and then the first episode ends with him dying, and you're like, so what happens? He's dead. What happens now? It's like what happened in Attack on Titan. Like when Eren bites the dust, you're like, I thought that wasn't that the main character. So like what happens now? So I think that there's plenty that's interesting about Chainsaw Man at the get-go. So I would disagree with you that
And that's fine.
if I were going to introduce somebody to the series, that I would show them this movie first. I would start them with the first episode.
I mean, the whole point of us starting stuff together is that we disagree kind of often.
Well, I mean, like, but you also haven't actually made a good argument for starting somebody with the movie as opposed to episode 1. That's such an out of pocket opinion.
And that's okay.
Okay, cool.
The two insert songs, moving on to a different topic, were fantastic.
The two what?
In the insert songs, Iris Out and Jane Doe, they were such good placements.
Could you be a little bit more specific as to when that was in the movie?
Iris Out is like the first, basically the opening sequence.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't exactly remember when Jane Doe played, but I think it was after the fight scene, and then Reze walked off. So it was just
After the main one with Typhoon and everything?
yeah.
I do think that the composition, like the movie score, is really good.
Yeah, because you
I
start
also
off as
think
like
that
a
the
really hype song, and then you end with a really calm song.
yeah.
So I think that's like fantastic. Like one of the most jarring things is when a movie insert song doesn't make any fucking sense. You
Yeah.
you you see it kind of often. I can't. A movie doesn't come to mind, but I feel like there's so many movies where it should be like more mellow or quiet, but they picked like an early 2000s song. Like it's like a like something just happened and then immediately during the title sequence it goes into freaking punk rock.
Well, I think that, and this is something that I think anime culturally just doesn't have an issue with because, like, yes, they have a lot of like American import, but they also have a very thriving music industry there. So there's not really a need for them to pull, like, I guess, clickbaity songs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know how else to say that, but like they don't need to be strong arming like Ariana Grande into their movies. You know what I mean? Like because they have great music.
Yeah, and I think that is also another component of anime where you have plenty of famous voice actors doing their roles, but you never go to a anime film specifically because of voice actors in it.
Right, because in my opinion, the profession is like I guess really respected over there. And I'm talking as an American and I don't really know what the culture is over there, but over here we have a serious problem with celebrity culture where people sort of jump on the bandwagon of like a celebrity name, and that is what sells movie tickets as opposed to a good solid movie. So this actually kind of goes back to the point I was making before about how I don't think you need a hook. If your story is good, then it is good. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, if Nicolas Cage is in a movie, I'm gonna go watch it.
Okay.
Like, if Nicolas Cage is in a
I
movie or Willem Dafoe is in it, I'm probably gonna have a good time regardless of any other component of the movie.
I think that
But
if somebody
with but not to say that they're not in bad movies.
I mean, like, yeah, they are. They are. I do think that it comes down to whether or not somebody is like really, really good at their craft. Like, I'll bring up Terry Crews, for instance. I like Terry Crews. I enjoyed him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I enjoy watching him. If he's in something, would I go to see it? Yes. But would I go to see it because I think that he's a serious performer? No. I'm going for the comic value of seeing him in something. Versus Willem Dafoe, who is a very good actor, and you go because of his reputation of being a good actor.
And then
If
there's in
that
the
makes any
middle
sense.
of Nick Cage who is just batshit insane and he goes both ways.
This is true. I do. Nicolas Cage is a very interesting case study, but anyway, we
I
digress.
love his movies. Like it's just a good time. Anyway, overall, I think the plot of the movie follows the manga greatly. The sequencing is great because of the movie length. There's not a lot of bloats. It's fantastic, and
I do wonder what stuff had to be cut because I don't know how many chapters they were trying to fit into
it's
the
only like
movie,
it's
but
only like 13 chapters. It's really short.
oh, interesting. So very possibly they didn't cut anything
No, I don't.
then.
I don't really think they cut much. Most of it was just
That's
extending
awesome.
sequences. Like, obviously, the pool sequence is a lot more extended because in the manga it's like 3 pages.
Sure, sure. And I actually thought that that was a really good sequence. Like I didn't think it was drawn out. I also didn't think it was raunchy. Like when it started, I was like, "Oh, this is going to get very like M17, possibly 18 plus." And it actually I didn't think it was all that bad. I didn't think it detracted either from the progression of like because again we like Denji because he's relatable, and we see him have that struggle of like but Miss Makima, but Miss Makima, but Miss Makima, and then he does it.
Dude, I love Makima. She's such a manipulative bitch.
I'm very curious what her whole deal is. So I guess I mean Eric's probably caught up on the manga, but I now I'm probably gonna go and read the manga to get caught up because I don't know what happens after the Reze arc, and she's very I have my own personal theories of what's going on with her.
I'm of the opinion that Chainsaw Man gets better and better as the series goes on. So
That's
I've
so
I've talked to
interesting.
you before about this. One of the reasons it took me so long to actually watch the anime is because I heard that it was only a 12 episode, and I didn't think they'd hit, and they basically stopped before the ball really gets rolling.
Sure. Well, I mean, like the first season covers presumably the first arc, which Chainsaw Man, I don't know that I think has traditional arcs
It does
because it
not.
sort of just feels like it follows Denji's
It
kind of story.
it is almost a sort of train. It's almost like a train of thought, following Denji's train of
That's
thought.
that's what I was gonna say. Like it feels like very just this is what happens to Denji today. Like it doesn't feel like there's any real specific um I guess overarching thing driving the story, which for me makes it a very fun experience because in other stuff, and I'll bring up Naruto specifically because Naruto has like very clearly defined arcs. Like it starts with like these are the tuning exams, and then this is the Sasuke retrieval arc, and then this and then this, and there's always like a very clear this is the goal. And yes, we get in season one that Denji is sort of assigned the task of going after the Gun Devil, and we find out a little bit about the Gun Devil, but it's not Denji's goal, really. Like, Denji's kind of doing his own thing, and the Gun Devil is almost like a side plot.
Yeah. So like, if I had a complaint about events in the movie, it would technically be Aki and Angel's like interactions because at least it's important in the long run of things. And and was obviously there at the and Angel were there at the final fight, so they had to be introduced in the movie in some way. In terms of narratively, though, they're not that important to have taken up that much time in this movie specifically. That those events are gonna be important for the next few arcs in terms of the actual like involvement of Aki because he's going to be more important in the later arcs. But
Sure.
in this particular case, his Aki's like intro stuff it really didn't affect the overall plot of the movie that much.
I to some degree disagree because and this goes back to what we were talking about before where if you were to just watch the movie in isolation I feel like you'd be missing a lot of information and there'd be a lot of things that didn't make any sense, like with Aki specifically. I think that the reason that they I think that they could have done more with his character, to be perfectly honest, but I don't know how it unfolds in the manga.
It's because it's
But
following the manga very closely.
so it just before the movie, so right at the tail end of season one, you see him make a deal, a contract with the Future Devil, and partner up with Angel. And we learn a little bit about Angel and the Future Devil's sort of personalities. And Angel is not animus or have any animosity towards humans. So his partnership with Aki is interesting because of who Angel is, and then you sort of get this like what is the Future Devil's whole stake in all of this, and you never find out.
No.
But then you see him willingly help Aki in the fight against the Bomb Devil and Typhoon. So but if you don't have that very small amount of context from the end of season one going into the movie, none of that makes any sense.
Sure.
And it's almost kind of passed off as Aki's ability if you don't know that. Like, if you don't know that he has a contract with the Future Devil, it almost feels like just his innate talent, which would be weird.
It is incorrect information, but does it theoretically detract from the movie? If you thought that.
I don't think it detracts from the movie. Um, yeah, I mean, like, I guess it doesn't detract from the movie. I do think that his relationship with Angel, if you don't kind of understand the context beforehand, then his interactions with Angel doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Sure, I never said it was a perfect system. It's just a way that I've used before, and it
I
works.
mean, like, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that they left a lot of, well, I mean, like, I guess this is by design because there is more to the series, but there's
Yes.
a lot of loose ends. I feel like at the end of the movie, although I will say I wasn't unsatisfied at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, no, it's great, and like one of the reasons the manga works so well is that you're always wanting more.
I do think though that if someone were to watch the movie and not understand that it's in the context of a larger story, I think that they would leave disappointed
Sure,
at the end of the movie.
but that's where you tell them, hey, if you like that, here's everything that happened before, and they get around to it.
Sure, sure. I don't know. That's
Something
not how I would introduce somebody to
I
Chainsaw Man.
I will say that putting aside what is it, 12 episodes times 23 minutes would be 230 plus.
It's about 4 hours.
Yeah, so sometimes putting aside 4 hours is not hard.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, like, yes, I did not binge it. I know people who probably did or would binge it, but I think it's like very manageable because like if you watch 1 to 2 episodes a night with like dinner or something, which is what the typical American does. I don't know what Japanese culture is. You would be able to finish it in the span of a week. Like it's not long.
No, it's not.
And if you're watching like Friends or Schitt's Creek or something with dinner, you know what I mean? It's the same concept. Especially if you watch the dubbed, which don't watch the dubbed. You suck if you watch the dubbed.
Hey, dub people are fine. Don't alienate dub people. I also watch sub. But don't alienate people just because they choose to watch dub.
Fine, we get it. As an actor, I support my dubbing artists and go and see the dubbed. They're great.
Watch whatever makes you comfortable. But yeah,
This is
no,
where
honestly.
this is where we just awkwardly stare at the audience.
But honestly, like, solid movie. Definitely go watch it if you haven't. We didn't spoil too much. I feel like
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know if we spoiled anything to be honest. We
we got the
probably should have put up a
general.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, can you do that? Like, can you do a bitches watch the movie before watching this? Maybe,
Yeah, we
maybe
probably should
not.
have done
I
a
don't
spoiler
know.
alert. I can put up a card at the beginning that says they talk about this later, but spoiler alert. Um,
Hey,
it's
the video about the movie talks about the movie, so you may want to watch it before you watch the thing.
I'm gonna like cut that section and put it earlier.
That's fine with me.
But yeah, I thought overall I would agree with Eric. I think it's a very good movie. I think that if you were going to introduce somebody to Chainsaw Man with the movie, you would definitely hook them.
Yeah.
I will say that. You would definitely hook them. I just disagree that that's how you should do it.
You agree with the result, but you disagree with the method, which I can live with.
Yeah, which I don't know if that says anything about how our society currently is, but yeah, it would
Oh,
work.
we live in a society. Oh, people aren't watching the first episode. Oh.
Okay, I just like it's one of those things where cuz I'm a writer too. So like if I'm writing something and
I
you have
never
to like
claim that it's the ideal way to consume media. I just think it's a way, if someone's being stubborn, to get them into it.
I think
And
here's
it's
my thing,
only an
right?
option. It should be used as an option when they're being real asinine about it.
Well, here's my thing, right? If somebody is genuinely opposed to watching any media for any particular reason, let's use anime as the current topic, right? If someone is against watching anime for some reason or like can't get into it, my first thing would be to ask why. Because anime is pretty freaking awesome. Like it like if you're American and you don't want to get into anime, I would ask you, are you happy with the media that we have over here right now? Because everyone is complaining about what is it? Reboots and Marvel crap and everything being formulaic. Anime is not that way. Well, isekais are, but that's a different topic. But anime generally
Okay,
is not like that.
but at the same time though, I do love a trashy isekai.
I mean, like isekais are fun. I'm not trying to dunk on isekais. I'm just saying that isekais are probably the closest thing to American media in the sense that isekais are 100% formulaic. Like every single isekai is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, come after me in the comments.
But it's good shit.
It is. I mean, like, hey man, I really like Slime. What can I say? It's
Slime is great. You know, I remember when the recent season was coming out, when people kept complaining about, oh, it's Tensei Slime Meeting Edition. Dude, the meetings are the best part. That's when all the world building happens.
yeah, yeah. We'll probably do a whole other episode on Slime,
Honestly, I'm
but
down because I'm caught up in the manga and it's great. I love where we're at
I'm
right
not.
now. Oh, Morgan's not caught up with something? What a
Ah,
new and
no
interesting
way.
concept.
Plot twist.
I should read the light novels.
So, anyway, let's wrap up this Chainsaw Man review. Overall, it has had a very good reception in both the Japanese market and the US market. Um, I mean, like, here's the thing, it's an anime movie, right? So, I don't know what the numbers are specifically for anime movies, but I recently read that it topped Demon Slayer. It
Um,
did better than Demon Slayer.
in Japan on that opening weekend, essentially. Basically,
Oh,
what
also
that.
here. Also in the
Um,
US. It topped the Demon Slayer's US numbers.
oh, did it? Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
no,
surprising.
Chainsaw Man
Because
did
Demon
fantastic.
Slayer is a lot more popular at a broader age range, whereas Chainsaw Man leans older audiences.
I didn't know that. Does that
Pretty
make me
sure.
old?
Yeah, we're old, dude.
Damn. I don't feel old.
Well, get to it.
But yeah, so it opened in Japan. Japan's box office weekend was a month ago. It was in what was it? September 20th. It released.
According
Um,
to this, it debuted first place in Japanese box office, which was previously topped for 9 weeks straight by Demon Slayer. So it was number one for the weekend after Demon Slayer had been out for 9 weeks, and was number one for 9 weeks. If that says anything.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, to be fair, it's new, right?
Yeah.
So it's
And
gonna be
Demon Slayer is
more.
the first part of the finale, and it's animated by UFO Table, which is just probably one of the best studios for animation. So of
Sure.
course it's not, and it's Chainsaw Man. Like it's an older audience. You're not bringing a 12-year-old to Chainsaw Man.
Oh, that's what you meant by older. I thought you meant like targeted at 30, 40, 50 year olds.
Mm, 18 plus typically for Chainsaw Man, I think.
Well, it's
Whereas
also
Demon Slayer is a lot more teen friendly.
sure. I mean, like I think Demon Slayer is like 13 plus. I think the manga's like 13 plus, kind of like Bleach. But Chainsaw Man is 16 plus.
Yeah,
So it's
so
mature.
I think it skews an older audience, which always hurts it technically in numbers.
Ah, I disagree. I mean, like we just said. I read a thing that said that Chainsaw Man topped Demon Slayer. I don't have the Demon Slayer numbers in front of me, but in Japan, opening weekend for Chainsaw Man grossed about 8.5 million, and in the United States, the opening weekend, which was this past weekend, this episode is airing on October 31st.
Happy
Eric and
Halloween,
I are filming
bitches!
this uh, Eric and I are filming this on October 27th. So we just had opening weekend, and
I
the
should get that on a
gross
shirt.
estimate, huh?
We should put that on a shirt. Happy Halloween, bitches.
Sure, yeah, that'll sell real well.
Oh yeah.
But so opening weekend just happened and grossed just a little bit more than 18 million in the U.S. and Canada. So pretty good numbers for an opening weekend for an anime movie, I feel. And like I said, I read somewhere that it topped Demon Slayer. Don't have the Demon Slayer numbers in front of me, but yeah.
Hearsay. Hearsay.
All right, fine. Let me look up the. I'll look up the Demon Slayer numbers. So the movie that came out this year, box office numbers for Demon Slayer in Japan, opening weekend. So it did. So in Japan, it did pretty freaking good. It grossed 37 million. So
Oh
that's a
yeah.
lot more than Chainsaw Man.
Uh huh.
But in the US, September 12th opening weekend, 70 million.
Yeah. Demon Slayer is huge, dude.
Well, we also we're like the numbers are still coming in. Like this is the Monday after opening weekend. So
I don't think
those
you're gonna
numbers are going
find
to go up.
that. Sure, but you're not gonna find those values.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I read it somewhere. I raised an eyebrow when I saw it, but it did well. It
And no,
didn't. I mean,
like
like it didn't
we're
not do
not saying
well.
it did. I'm not saying it did badly. It's just it's not Demon Slayer in terms of
No,
popularity.
no, no, it's not.
Like
Well, I don't know about that because I do think that Chainsaw Man is a popular series.
it's a popular series, but it doesn't have the general audience appeal of Demon Slayer.
Sure, I'm not sure I know what that means, but sure. I think that you just have like more people that can go see it because if you want to go see Demon
That's
Slayer, you don't need your
that's
parents.
that's the definition of it. General
I
audience.
mean, like, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like, but it's not that much because, like I said, I don't know what the rating for Demon Slayer is. Is it 13 plus?
Whatever it is, it's a lot of people brought their kids to watch it that weekend. Like theaters were packed with Demon Slayer fans.
Maybe I'm just biased because I'm not a Demon Slayer fan.
Sounds like a you problem.
Come after me. I don't think it's that good.
Fight, 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 fight. But let us
Um,
know what you think.
Demon Slayer is 13 plus.
Mhm. Yeah. So
But that's only 3 years. That's only 3 year difference. Like I
sure,
don't.
but at
Although I guess
at age
that's the
13, you have to have your parent. You more than
right.
often than not, you bring your parents in. So that's an
You
extra.
have to.
And that's
Well,
an
you have
extra.
to.
That's an extra ticket.
Right, exactly. So, and that's yeah. So, anyway, those are our thoughts, our somewhat spoilery thoughts.
Or
If you
are
would like
they?
us,
I didn't read the transcript. Woo!
if if you would like us to do a more in-depth review of this series that totally gets into spoilers, kind of like our Takapi episode, let us know in the comments, and maybe we'll do that. Although I would probably want to do something else, but we'll see.
So loud, so loud, so loud.
I don't know who's buying a Chainsaw Man review episode.
Yeah. Well, you know.
But yeah, those are our thoughts. I don't know. Any closing thoughts, Eric?
No.
Scale. Eric doesn't like rating movies. So on a scale from 1 to 10, Eric, what would you rate Chainsaw Man?
It was a good movie. I would recommend
He
you
won't do
watching it to get your own opinion.
He won't do it, guys. Comment below if you want Eric to rate it. Scale out
I
of 10.
refuse. I would rather leave this channel forever than rate a movie.
I don't know, Eric. Peer pressure. Peer pressure. Subscribers. It's for the subscribers.
I don't care. They can unsubscribe. I don't care.
Fight. Fight. Fight.
I will fight them. I will fight all of them.
Alright, guys. That's all we got. So we'll catch you next time. We don't know what we're going to do, but find us here. Road to Waifu, YouTube.
Or
like,
don't.
comment, subscribe.
Or don't. I don't care anymore.
Eric, you're really hurting the viewership right now.
Yeah,
you're
I
really
know.
we're trying to get people to like and share.
Yeah, I'm not God. I won't tell you what to do. Just do what you want.
I will. Don't listen to Eric. Shut the fuck up. Like and subscribe, comment below.
Or don't.
We'll
Or don't.
see you next time.
Free will.